It's the SDG Podcast. Before we get started, you can check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com/podcast or find us on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Solution Design Group. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you all today. We're going to talk about where COVID has brought us to, what it has left us with today after thousands of days since it started. So with us to talk about it, we have a full boat. Chad Juttner.
Hello.
Allison Lorenzo.
Hey.
Greg Steer.
Hi.
Peter Lawrence.
Hello.
And Dean Duffing.
Hi,
with
everyone.
his awesome wall of guitars. I'm jealous. So I did some reading because I think, Greg, was it you that mentioned QR codes and menus?
Yes.
Yeah. That whole thing like sprung out of COVID.
Yes.
I did not realize that.
And yeah, I think my words were, just bring me the damn menu.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to scan your QR code.
Yeah. How big is the Cheesesteak Factory QR code?
Yeah.
That's a QR code that takes you to 50 QR codes. Yeah. I would hate to work there memorizing that menu. So the idea that a menu is a carrier for COVID, I think, was part of it.
So then Dean kind of expanded on the idea and said, hey, maybe we talk about what COVID brought us.
Yeah. I think
and what should we keep and what should we get rid of?
I think that particular one would be a great one to start with if you wanted to go through a list. You might find that there's pros and cons to all these things.
I say get rid of it, but I don't have actually a good rational reason for it. Like at the end, I'm looking at usually the same menu. One's printed and the other one's just like not printed yet. It's just it's the same.
Yeah, but the spot prices change every day on the QR code menu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. New items get added.
Sure, that happens.
You don't have to wait for the printing. They don't have to pay anyone to wipe them down all the time, which they were doing before COVID anyway, because they get all sloppy from my kids pouring pop on it.
Cheese stuck to it.
Have you seen your parents try to scan the QR code yet on their phones?
Yes.
That's reason enough for like.
That's true. You're hitting a certain market that it's hard for, right? But,
yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah. And if I don't have my glasses with me.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No.
Same thing. On a positive note, if you have it on your phone, you can make it bigger. You don't always need those glasses. I know that's what my wife does.
I've had more than a couple dinners ruined before we even got to order because my dad couldn't open the menu on his phone or figure out how to do it. And so we just the hell if they were going to someplace with a menu.
I had my phone set to record for some reason, and I was trying to scan a QR code and it wasn't working. And it took me several minutes to figure that one out. I'm like, yeah, I'm old. That's it. So
I just feel like we don't need another excuse to have everyone around the table with their phones open, staring at it silently as they sit next to each other. At least if you got a menu in front of you, you can feign having some conversation while you're looking around. But,
I agree.
I think the idea is sound. I think it's a great idea. Everybody, we got the best looking, cleanest menu. It's on your phone. Everybody can look at it at the same time. Different spots. You can look at it in line as you're waiting to get seated or whatever. But the reality of it is that it's just a little too much for a lot of times, right? Like, and maybe it's too much for us because we got used to having actual menus in our lives.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's probably a little generational thing. I agree with you guys about like older people, like my mom struggles with that. She would never do that. But my kids are like, I don't need a menu. Dad, just look it up, and they're always on their phones at the table anyway in a restaurant. Let's be honest.
That's true.
Maybe at home I can control that, but in the restaurant it's free reign a little bit. So So it's kind of a different generation where they're used to everything being on their phones anyway. So
Yeah, that is true.
So
I have a list
the
of things. I don't know.
go ahead.
Do you just go over them one by one, or you want to just throw
Yeah,
things out, or what do
Wow.
Yeah, if you got a list,
do
heck
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You did homework. That's awesome.
I tried to do a little bit of homework. So I think, you know, we'll start with kind of probably the most obvious one is the hybrid working from home,
Hmm.
right? Has stuck around. I don't know, you know, love it, leave it, you know, indifferent, you know, thoughts.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp too, although, you know, when we got out of COVID, you know, immediately, like Chad and I were working on the same project and we started a work from office day with our team and
Yeah.
loved it at the time, right? I mean, because it was, you know, kind of new again. But I'm kind of for the hybrid work from home.
Yeah.
Some of the time, work at the
Yeah.
office. I think both serve a purpose.
yeah,
We
I
had
think there's another. I think there's
a lot
another
of-
one that's a little generational too. Sorry, Kyle. I'll let you go.
just the back to office kind of mandates happened.
Hmm.
So that was like a forced hybrid. What I like is the flexible back to office mandate where we'd really like to have you here these 3 days of the week. If you can make it, that would be great. Um, and, you know, if you live 200 miles away, we get it. It's easy for me. Yeah, I'm here. I try to be here every day because I think someone should be here. And it was usually Jeff Urban, and I felt like him sitting here by himself, I just felt like he would get lonely. So, and I deal with equipment, and it was just handy to be here if somebody needed me. But I'm 4 miles away, and I don't have kids, and I have a four-wheel drive pickup. Like, I don't have a lot of barriers to come into the office. So I'm not really a good person to champion the cause either way. But I know when I consulted, if I could work from home, it was a blessing. I really,
You also have a door,
Yeah.
Kyle, which I think makes a big difference to work from office.
Mm.
Like I notice you're not taking one of those open space, wide open, hear your neighbor's conversation no matter what you try to do with your headphones spots there, or hear the music going from across the wall, or something like that. I'm not, you know, I hear it.
Peter, the music is usually pretty great. Whoever programs that does a pretty goddamn good job. So I don't want to hear a single word about the music. But
we worked hard to pick the person most qualified to program the
I
music.
think you're concerned about, like, I mean, it still feels somewhat novel because just taking a call anywhere in the office and the volume, right, is an issue for me. I don't mind being around. I kind of like being around people. And at the end of the day, if I'm on calls, I get grumpy. I'm like, trying to work. Like, never mind. That's just me being
Yeah.
clouds.
It's you know, the working from home and having all the open offices. I think part of the return to office is justifying real estate.
Well, because nobody can get rid of it, right? I mean, was it WCCO did a story on the value of the IDS tower going down 20% or something like that.
What was
Just
our went from 250 million to 60 million?
yeah, I mean it's a discount right now.
Yeah.
I got an additional coupon and a door hanger for the IDS, 20 grand off.
Nice.
My understanding is it was also driven by the local businesses and restaurants down there that were losing a ton of money for over lunches and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So you got some city officials that were trying to help that out, which makes sense. I mean,
I don't think anybody doesn't understand it, right? We all understand what's going on. It's just that, again, like this was the great experiment that we got to have that we were all talking about before COVID, right? everybody's like, oh, work from home, this will be great. I can get a lot done. And, you know, if you're the one person at home and everybody else is in the office, it's not a great, that's not the hybrid that you want. You want the hybrid the other way around, where everybody's on camera like we are right now and having a conversation from 6 different places and being able to have that conversation. It flows pretty smoothly. You're not on the whatever, I don't even remember what it was called, the old phone thing that you dial into, and they could mute you, they could mute everybody there, and you'd just be listening to silence, or in your car trying to catch bits and pieces of conversation and not really having an idea what's going on.
Yeah, being the only guy on the conference call when everybody else is in the room is like not just one row back on the car trip. It's like you're all the way back in the bench seat, and yelling just to get heard. Hello, listen to me. Yeah. So it's, I like the hybrid stuff, and I like what it accelerated a lot of stuff that we had to show up for that we really didn't need to. A lot of stuff we could do online. If my doctor is holding me hostage with my prescriptions to set an appointment, being able to do it on telehealth in 10 minutes is great. I don't want to show up I don't want to go to the doctor ever.
All the sick people are there.
Yeah. So things like that, I think, got accelerated. Being able to get your tabs online, I think that started before COVID, but things like that. Not using cash anymore. Do you carry cash?
I mean, I didn't use much cash before, but now a lot of places are just sort of mandated cashless. Baseball field.
Yeah, I don't like that. Here's the thing that I love. When you go to Cub Foods or Target, they have all the spots in the front of the store now reserved for people that order online and have them delivered. And now I don't do that. Like, I don't do the online ordering and delivery, but I do park in those spots because they're closer than the handicap spots, and there's no legal requirement that I have to use their app to park there. So I love it because I get close parking whenever I'm at Target or something.
See, I was going to be so excited. I thought, oh yeah, I do that all the time. I do the order to pick up curbside, and turns out, no, you're just stealing my spots. I see.
I'm stealing your spot. Well, it's so stupid. I mean, why the heck is it in the front of the parking lot, right? Now that you just lost 8 spots that people have to park in No, I'm parking there until Target police come and grab me and say I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. And they're reserving them for people who aren't even showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always open. There's one person there sometimes, I love it. I love it. I love that those exist. However, my daughter does work for Cub Foods, and she hates that. So just know that there's a store employee at Cub, they call them the e-com people, that if she gets assigned that job, she has to go fill the orders. And it's just she has to bring it out there in the snow and whatever. And I get that it's convenient for some folks, but the store employees probably don't like you.
Well, and some stores have done it better than others. And I know some of the Targets around me have moved that parking to where it's less convenient for you, Chad, but it's more convenient to a different door that they're able to operate out of.
Mm-hmm.
Are you and sort of China Target?
No. Yeah. No. Definitely not. But again, and Hy-Vee used to have, or Lunds and Byerly's has the drive-up grocery pickup, right? When you'd buy your groceries, they'd put it in a tote, and then you'd drive your car up, and they'd load it for you, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't know, Peter. I'm not that fancy to go to Lunds and Byerly's.
You've stopped in for something,
okay, Mr. Lunds
on the one day.
Mr. Highbrow carrot cake. What's on the list next, Greg? What do you got?
Kind of a somewhat related note. It's kind of I think COVID kind of developed a homebody culture, right? So people working
Mm.
at home and just not going out as much. And then I don't know that it ever actually has picked back up. You know what I mean? Like it feels
Yeah.
like people just don't go out as much, maybe because they
Based on
got
the number of
accustomed to
restaurants
it.
closing, they're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that probably cost probably doesn't help there either, which is also probably another COVID thing. Inflation really kind of skyrocketed. But just homebody culture. Like I mean, I find it with our family. We stay in a lot more. We used to go out to eat more often than we do now. Um, Partially because during COVID we actually kind of got into cooking,
Mm.
right? So we kind of enjoy it a little more. But even aside from going out to eat, I mean, I don't feel like we go out as much as we used to, doing various things.
And I
don't
think a lot
know.
of restaurants have gotten better because of DoorDash and because of COVID at doing pickup orders, right? And in the old days, you might get, I don't know, whatever random container they had sitting around for leftovers. They'd put your food in that and it would mostly work, but not really. And now they're with DoorDash, they're, specific containers all designed for some dasher to come and pick up. And if you're frugal like me, you'll just go pick it up yourself and
Hmm.
uh, and get the same experience.
But even just aside from, I mean, even outside of just going out to eat, I mean, I think everything has gone down. Even, when we do our work from office days, there are still people that work for a company that I've never met because I don't know if I've ever
Right.
seen them in person, right? Um, and even at my current clients, it's the same. There was a couple of guys on the team that I never met, even though they were local, and they came in maybe once or twice, right? At least that was my experience. I don't know if you guys, Dean,
Yeah.
do you have similar, or do you see
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I think a lot of these things, it kind of depends on what generation you're in. Kind of like when we originally started with the menu stuff, but even like distance working from home stuff. I had a kid who graduated during COVID for college and
Wow.
started her job. And her fiance now did the same thing. And he quit his job within a year or two to go for a company that had him come in the office.
Okay.
And my daughter just moved to a company that has her come into the office because, like us, we've all developed these patterns and these relationships
Yeah.
and friendships and stuff like that already. And they hadn't done that. So they weren't getting it.
Hmm.
So they actually opted to work in the office more often, which is interesting. Same thing with like we're talking about the going out stuff. I mean, I think the younger generation is still like, nope, I'm going. Heck, I got to get out of the house. I want to go see my friends. I want to go to this cool place. Or some of us who've been there, done that, maybe we're like, you know what? This staying at home and cooking a nice meal and having wine and then watching a movie is actually not too bad. It's a lot less stress. I don't have to deal with the digital menu, you know? I mean, so it's kind of depends on what patterns you're used to and if what you've been there, done that, and maybe to some degree your energy level or your inquisitiveness to experience things. I don't know. That's the way I kind of look at it.
Yeah, no,
It
that's a
took
good
me a
point.
while to like, I became almost agoraphobic, and it took me a while to get out and about and
Hmm.
leave the house. I've always been a couch potato. It's like, wow, COVID was kind of designed for me. I've been practicing for this my whole life, but I realized, no, you do go out and do stuff a lot. You do show up to things, and so I've been trying to get, it's taken years to get back to um, being comfortable, going out to a restaurant. I drove past Park Tavern on Friday and the parking lot was packed, and I was very happy to see that
Hmm.
Yeah,
because
that's
I
a good
wasn't
point. I
going to
mean,
Park Tavern.
COVID might have just gave people just a better excuse to not do stuff, right? Like, so maybe it's just the people that weren't going to anyway.
Right.
Or just now, like, you know what, I'm not forced to. Like, now I have a reason not to. And then maybe that just kind of lingers on. And those same people are just, still kind of sitting at home. Like, yeah, everybody's used to it now. I don't have to go out all the time. I don't know.
Allison, you have the kind of the family that was very hard to go out to restaurants with back in the day. For me, is you have children that are a little bit younger side, right?
Yeah,
And
2 years olds. Yeah.
2-year-olds are wonderful at the restaurants. They have no inhibitions whatsoever.
Yeah, so fun. Just the messes I've had to apologize for. Unspeakable. Applesauce everywhere, the horror. So yeah, it does feel nice to have the option, even if we do want to avoid home cooking something, to DoorDash it or whatever it may be. That's been really nice. And it's always like a trade-off of like, I'm very much an introvert and so is my husband, but does that mean we have to force our kids to be at home with us all the time? I bet they enjoy going out and causing chaos at outside places, and it's probably good for them to get used to being around other people so they can choose as they grow up whether they want to be introverts like us or if they enjoyed socializing a little bit more. So it's always with a family, it's always a choice between the convenience and like, do I feel guilty about this for taking the easy way out? And especially, I think a lot of the things that have come out of COVID that we've been talking about are all about convenience. It makes everything more convenient.
It does.
It's more DIY because you can do everything from home without interfacing with other people. But, there's upsides to that, but there's also the downside, that saying of convenience comes at the cost of community. And I think a lot of the times you don't always notice that trade-off until maybe it kind of smacks you across the face. Like Kyle, you were kind of saying I had a similar experience where I was inside for COVID a long time thinking, I'm doing great. I'm introverted. This is no problem. Until some of those days, like Chad and Greg, we started going to the office together. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Actually working with other people again and getting out and having lunch. Like, holy crap, I actually missed this a lot.
Well, quick though, it's who you were with too, right?
Well, sure. Of course, quality of company.
Awesome at that time.
But, that's just like, I hope that people realize that. And convenience is awesome in a million different ways, and I'll never speak against it. But it's just realizing that sometimes it's worth going through the extra hassle just to make those connections with the people around you. Touch grass again, like we talked about last time.
Sure.
Careful.
All right, here's one I got on the list. Now this one I kind of go either way on this. So sort of education kind of changed. So my kids were like prime age going through there. They were sort of 5 years ago. They're 11 and 9, right? And so good thing, or well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a good thing. So I think this concept of e-learning days are more accepted, and I don't really know how I feel about it. I don't think that I don't think those school days are anywhere near the same quality as if they're sitting in person with their teachers. So I don't necessarily like them. But on the flip side, that also means my kids have no snow days. And I kind of almost feel bad because the snow days are e-learning days now, right? And like, I don't know, a snow day feels like a rite of passage as a kid when you're, you know what I mean? I don't know. And so those have been taken away. They don't have that, right? So they don't have that same.
You don't have them at all?
No, I mean, like the last couple of snowstorms, I mean, they prepare them. They usually send out emails saying, hey, we're sending the kids, home with their
E-learning?
laptops or whatever in case of e-learning day on
Because
Monday.
I think
That's
our
a
district has
decision.
2 snow days, and then we switched to e-learning days,
Okay.
Yeah.
which
We've
we've used them up.
Chanhassen did the same thing. They'll give you a couple snow days, but if it gets to be too many, then they'll force the e-learning a little bit too. So I think that's maybe like a district decision. But you bring up a good point, Greg. I mean, are they missing
Snow
out on
days
some
were
of
the
that
best
stuff?
days.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Why would you live in Minnesota if you don't get snow days?
I know. It's exactly. I mean, it's comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But man, having that extra day or two tacked on to the school year at the end,
Well,
no.
It's only if you have so many. There's
Yeah,
they
but-
have a grace period of a few, I
Yeah.
think.
yeah, they had a few built in, right?
Yeah. My son
Yeah,
was
kids
in
are-
elementary school during COVID, and he had to deal with this stuff. And I think it was harder depending upon what grade level you were in with that
Yeah,
distance learning stuff. But some of the stuff that has stayed around, like just the ability to get your stuff online, like when he's sick, he doesn't have to get so far behind. He had a spot where he was out sick for a week.
Right.
And by the weekend or Friday, he's kind of getting better. He could at least gear up. So he's not 5 days behind on Monday. He was more like 2 days behind on Monday,
Yep.
So it's a benefit as far as not getting too far behind. I mean, it's not as quality as being there, but it's helpful.
No, that's a good point. I mean, it's and like say my kids had a similar thing where they missed a couple of days, and they were able to make up most of it. We were on the road, so they were they were doing it on their iPads or whatever, Chromebooks on the road. So it does, I guess, offer a little flexibility. But my kids' school also, they have an e-learning day once a month. Like, and
Just to stay in practice.
I don't know why, right? But that's what I'm talking about. Like it seems to be so much more accepted that they just kind of get away with it. It feels like it's a wasted day from my perspective.
Didn't you?
Do you have to play tech support like a lot when they're doing the learning from home?
I mean, I don't. I mean, when COVID hit, when the whole thing was brand new to everybody, yeah, that was. I mean, I was full-time tech support trying to figure out their stuff. But I mean, now at least they have it. They have that part of it kind of dialed in, so they don't really have the issues. that
Do you
they
all
used
have
to.
faster internet now because of home learning?
I had a pretty fast internet anyway, but yeah.
Didn't you spend like part of COVID with the kids at the cabins? Weren't you up there for like a month straight?
I
Because
did. I guess that was one benefit. Yeah. That
they were
was,
school e-learning, and then because I remember when I met Greg, the first time I met him, he was working from the bedroom at the cabins, and that's all I knew Greg for like the first.
yeah.
I don't
Well, it was
know.
like 3 weeks in January, nobody wanted the cabin, right? So they kept putting up hey, put your name in for the drawing. So I was like, I threw my name in. I grabbed the kids and went up there, and then it would get to the end of that week, and whoever was managing the cabin was like, "Hey, nobody has it next week. Do you want to just stay?" And I was like, "Sure." So
That's awesome.
I stayed for like 3 weeks.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But I mean, that was during COVID, right? Like I'm more referring to this post-COVID stuff.
Oh,
where
yeah.
For me personally, I think the e-learning. I mean, like I said, my kids have it. It's just once a month, and I just think that should probably go away. Like I don't see any reason, and they don't get any benefit. They treat it as a day off because that's what it is, right? It's just like they literally just have to go online, check in, and then they're done.
Yep.
But and also like I said, snow days, bring them back. I think it's
I agree.
all right.
Yeah. But being in a school district that is like, we're going to tough it out no matter what. When you're listening to school closings on WCCO and they never
Oh,
call your school. Yeah, I would have taken
that's the
e-learning.
worst. Yeah.
So what else you got on that list, Greg? Anything?
Something else I got, I think, my opinion, this is probably a good thing, but I think COVID has made it more acceptable to like stay at home when you're sick. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was always a sort of, we said we were okay with it, but there was always this like, you kind of resented whoever didn't call it or whoever.
Are
called
you
it.
at home again?
Yeah,
What?
exactly. Right.
You're wrecking it for everybody, hero. Just go
Yeah.
home.
But I think it's now it's a little more acceptable and which I think is a good thing, right? I think of one client I was at previous to COVID, and this place was, man, we were packed in. I mean, it was the paired programming. We're sitting on these cafeteria tables. There was 30 people in a, you know, not a very
Small
big
conference room.
space. Yeah, and when somebody would get sick, boom, it would wipe out half the team. Right. For the next 2 weeks was just a series of like, oh, these 4 people are out today, and then these 3 tomorrow, and these 2 the next, So yeah, I'm a fan of just staying home if you're not feeling well, right? And that kind of goes back to the hybrid thing, right? Being able to do hybrid like that actually kind of allows people to like, because sometimes you're sick, but you're not sick enough where you can't work, right?
Right.
Yeah. Happens
And
to me all
so,
the time.
yeah,
All
if
the
you were
time.
forced to go to the office or take PTO, most of the time people would be like, oh, I'm fine. I'll go to the office, right?
hmm
And so, I think that the more acceptance and the hybrid has actually helped a lot with that stuff.
I couldn't agree more. I'm getting over a cold myself right now, and otherwise I would have had to either feel really guilty going into the office the past couple of days because it's not a bad cold, or to take PTO that I didn't need because, like I said, it's not that bad. So being able to just do it remotely it saved me like I feel like months of PTO time at this point in parenthood.
Well, and you got your 2-year-olds. I mean,
Oh, I know.
that's basically, I mean, you go to any daycare, it's just the worst science experiment ever, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
Horrifying.
You
Oh,
wanna
I
get
see
sick,
all the
walk
parents.
in this door.
Yeah. Every winter, I should have had a sign, just stay the hell away from me. If you have kids in the wintertime, just no, I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
Another thing about getting sick after COVID, I feel like it's a little more common for me to see people walking around with those like paper masks and having those like available at the front desks of like clinics and doctors' offices. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of neat. It's probably helps a little bit keep your germs contained.
People don't like when you put the mask on them, I've learned.
Yeah, yeah.
It's more
Mandatory stuff was a little more touch and go. Yeah. But people are like opting to do it themselves, and that's cool. Like I know in some countries that is like very much the norm. You are expected to go around wearing a mask. If you are sick, like I'm thinking of particularly countries with like subways and stuff where you are packed in
Right.
public
Yeah.
transportation a lot. And I don't think that's ever really been a thing at all in America until COVID. And now it's at least a little bit of a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. If you're sick and you're going to take a train, wear a mask. If you're going to be in a doctor's office, grab a mask.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear a mask though, because everybody else is sick. I'll risk it, but I don't want to make other people sick. So I usually stay home.
I'm
Right.
thinking
Even if
the
I
next
have a
time I take a
sniffle.
plane, I
Yeah.
will be wearing a mask just to avoid that travel ick that happens.
Every time.
I mean, unless I had a good plane like Chad, but
But,
I
but you're
wanna
going to pull
prove-
it down to take a bite, though, right, Peter?
of course,
You didn't remember
Yeah.
that deal?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
you only need it at a certain altitude. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
stand up, you don't need it. But if you sit
Yeah,
down,
and airline almonds make you immune from it anyway, so you're good, right?
yeah. What's way better, do you think, now? Is anything
What's
just
way
stand
better?
out? It's like, oh, this is
Um,
great. Why didn't we do this before?
traffic was way better.
Yeah,
It's not anymore.
anymore. I have one thing on my list that would be, I think, better, but I think you just find more outdoor seating at places now, right? I'm a huge fan. I love sitting out on my patio. I work out there anytime I can. So like anytime we go out, always, I mean, assuming it's nice out, I'm looking for an outdoor spot. And a lot of restaurants in particular built out their outdoor spaces during COVID. And
Yeah, they
stuff like
loosened
that.
up a lot of the regulation and stuff around that to allow more of that outdoor seating, and I don't think they pulled it back,
Nope.
which is nice.
as a guy that likes to be indoors, I appreciate the outdoor seating because it frees up, you know, my spots
Indoors.
inside.
Right.
That yeah. So I love it. I love that it exists, and I love that it exists for everybody else. And I appreciate it very much. One of my favorite spots to go, they did exactly that, Greg. They tripled the size of their outdoor patio, and it's very popular in the summer, which means it's not as busy inside, which is where I prefer to be. So I like that.
There's nothing worse than going to a restaurant with a crowd of people when it's 95 and humid and someone's like, "Oh, let's sit outside." No.
Let's see. I got a couple more things here. My list. I think these are not good things in my opinion, but I guess depends on what side of the coin you're on here. Kind of both related to just entertainment. So eating out. You know, a lot of places during COVID reduced their hours. You know, partially due to just staffing shortages, but I know of a lot of places that just they haven't gone back to their regular hours, which is kind of a bummer. But it might also be to the fact that it's, you know, during COVID there were staffing shortages, and I think some of that still persists. But
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. But yeah, so reduced service hours, and then something else I got is, at least to me, it felt like tipping has like increased a lot. Right? Like, I mean, there was always, I mean, I've worked in the food industry when I was young, you know, like I'm always a 20% guy. But
Yeah.
man, it's now you go, first of all, tipping went to everything, not just sort of eating out or whatever. It's like,
Right.
you know, which is kind of annoying. And then now the little automated, like, here, just fill this out before I can complete your transaction. And it starts with a 20% and then 25 or 28, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to hit other if you want to find something less than 25.
And now,
As
I
the
mean,
employee stares
it's
at you in the
become
face.
bribing. It's not tipping. It's you're bribing your DoorDash driver not to
Right.
place kick your food to your door.
Here's what I hate about it is I like Caribou. Like I'll stop at Caribou sometimes and get myself a, you know, tasty little treat, something like super sweet, you know, very masculine thing that I do. But they always, when you go through there, they're so silly about it. They're like, they shove a thing in your face, this is the thing that I think came from COVID, right? Like I cannot just hand my card to somebody anymore. I'm like, here's money or here's a card or whatever. They shove a machine into your vehicle. And then they like take your card and they swipe it and they're like, okay, and then here you go. It's just gonna ask you a silly little question. I'm like, it's a tip. Like it's not. Just ask me. Do you want to leave a tip? Do you want to leave $1 tip on a $5 drink so that you can have a $7 or $6 cup of coffee? I hate that. I hate it so much.
Put them on the spot. How much should I tip?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Oh man.
Well, 100% is the normal here at this restaurant. But if you wanted to do 150, that would be okay.
Do you also want to donate $2 to the fund, whatever fund it is? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, so there's the tipping fatigue, which isn't entirely on COVID, but I think it accelerated during COVID, and
it definitely started there and ramped way up for sure.
Yeah,
I think it should be a jar. Yeah, you should have to tip cash.
I mean, I don't disagree, except that everything's cashless now, so it's like.
That's why I think it should be a jar.
Do you think some of it might have been, hey, these people are out working during COVID and they got to come in? Like, I mean, I'm tipping the sandwich artist 25%, you know, that type of stuff. And then their prices have all gone up too. But it's like they're braving the world out there to make your sandwich. So we kind of feel like we should tip them because they're doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's kind of also
essential workers.
that a little. Yeah, essential workers, you know?
Right, yeah. I mean, there was definitely that mentality during COVID, right? Where you I don't know, not felt bad, but you were like, oh, you actually have to go into work. Oh, here you have a little
Right. Guilt.
little appreciation. Yeah. But yeah, it's, I don't know.
But like
I don't have the
fuel
same appreciation
surcharges.
anymore. So it's like, stop asking me for I mean, a
I was
$2 coffee shouldn't cost me $5 because
I was
don't
only
use it.
occasionally essential and never got a dime tip.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, I'm not bitter. You know what I do like about the post-COVID world we live in now is that people are automatically sharing their cameras on meetings. And it didn't used to be like that. You used to have to beg. Before COVID, no one hardly ever shared their camera.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's also, it'll vary by company too. Like some clients, everyone's camera's on, some they're all off, and I'm the only one with it on, and I feel silly the whole time. But SDG, I feel like is pretty darn good about. Well, like we might even have a policy about it. I'm not sure, but regardless, I like to see it people's faces like this.
You're right. At work, I have, there's groups. I know which ones they are. I turn it on or leave it off depending on who I'm talking to. It's depending on the audience.
Yeah.
I tried to start it on this team that I'm on. I had mine on all the time and everybody refused. So I'm like, well, I'm done.
We
I
do
know
not
my
have a
wife hasn't had her.
policy.
I know my wife hasn't had her camera on since COVID started, and she's been working at home all the time.
Wow.
So it's definitely by company, but I think people underestimate how much communication is lost when you can't see someone's facial expressions and stuff like that too.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. And how much you lose if you can't see their adorable pets in the
Yeah,
background.
absolutely.
Or like
Right.
their
On the
cool
positive
Barbies in the
side,
background, like a
you can
guitar.
dress however you want if your cameras are off, right? Or not at all.
I do wonder now that you say that, like it seems to me that business appropriate wardrobes have gotten a lot more casual since COVID. Like even if you
Yeah.
do go into the office, there's not a whole lot of difference between what I would wear at home and what I'd see at the office.
We're not
Yep.
quite to sweatpants yet, but I'm
No.
hoping.
Yeah,
I've
True.
not seen full-on pajamas. Like,
that's true.
That's called loungewear, Kyle. Loungewear. That's what my wife
Yes.
tells me.
That's
They're
what I
not
wear at
pajamas,
home.
it's loungewear.
I'm gonna get a onesie and start wearing that to the office. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it definitely has relaxed the dress code. I don't dress nearly the same that I used to. And I like it. But I mean, I'm not wearing pajamas either. I mean, my dressing down was, I was like sort of khaki pants, button-up shirt or a collared shirt at least. And now it's, I'm fine with jeans and a t-shirt or a sweatshirt if it's cold out or something, right?
But would you dress that way if it was a big important meeting? Like,
I mean, no, yeah, it's all situational, but in the day to day, my
yeah,
wardrobe has definitely changed. What I consider business casual is what would have been if I was read a handbook from 10 years ago, would have explicitly been in there and said,
Right.
you can't wear that. In fact, I remember, Fridays, like this company, it was a big deal because you could wear jeans on Fridays.
Right. Yep.
yeah.
You could wear jeans on Fridays. So now it's all I have. So.
I remember I used to work at a, we'll just say a large retailer in downtown Minneapolis. And it used to be like during the certain months you could buy, if you donated X amount to charity, you'd get a sticker that said you can wear jeans on Friday. And it seems like such a silly thing now, like to be like, was I better? Were we any better at our jobs back then because we dressed pretty, or like the color of my, I didn't wear blue pants. I wore khaki pants. Like, I don't know.
They say it does have an impact on you when you're well dressed, and I've never bought into that, but that's what they say.
I've worn a tie to work. It's not that exciting or fun, and
No.
it's really didn't make me a better programmer.
No, I did. We did that I had a company where it was business formal for a couple of years, and it was silly. Nobody cared.
I feel like if you're going into a situation where you need a boost of confidence or like to put on a certain persona, like if you're going to go on an interview or something, I could see that having an impact on how confident I feel. But if it's like I'm going to go talk with my programmer buddies on this project that we work on every day, I don't know. Probably wouldn't want to wear pajamas like you said, but I don't think I need
Loungewear.
a business suit. Yeah.
Well, but
That's leisure.
like if you would have shown up to the office on one of our work from office days, Allison, if you'd have shown up in a business suit or shown up wearing pajamas, we would have absolutely made more fun of you on the days you wore the business suit than the pajamas.
Yes.
But that's sort of how more acceptable it is, right? Well, I mean, yeah, you're right, Chad. We'd have made fun of her no matter what. But
Yeah. And honestly, Allison, we're just going to make fun of you, but
That's
remember
just being good
seeing-
coworkers. Yeah, I get it.
one of the kids on our team, we had to travel. We had to work out of we traveled together down south, and he came into the office and he actually went to Kohl's, used up all his Kohl's cash on a new outfit because this was his first time in person meeting a lot of these. And I was like, man, you look weird, man. And he's like, still weird. Like he had his polo shirt buttoned all the way to the top and
Wow.
khaki pants on, but he didn't buy shoes. So like he was still wearing his old dirty tennis shoes, but he looked nice otherwise. And then the minute we left the office, we went back to the hotel. He came back down to the lobby, and he had gym shorts and a T-shirt that said, "I paused my video game to be here."
That's awesome.
yeah.
We'll have to have a dress down day, like a secret pajama day. We don't tell anybody, and then Peter comes in and he's the only one wearing pajamas, and we're all laughing at him. That'd be horrible. Sorry, Peter.
And there were times where they would try to reverse it too, right? Like dress up Fridays or something like that. And like, why? Why would I do that?
Mhm.
It's the cotillion. What? We're not going to the cotillion. Yeah. The last place I was required to wear a tie was when I worked at Red Lobster.
Wow.
I felt a little
Really?
overdressed.
What
Yeah,
was
Allison,
Tie
you-
and an apron.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weird combo.
usually you
That
don't
was
have to wear a
first
tie if
rack.
you're washing dishes.
So is your list
I think my
complete?
list is about exhausted here. We kind of touched on most. I've got a couple things in here. There is one. So when we were doing our topic thing, I did throw out another comment about how everything's getting dumber. And then actually somebody else at SCG there, the book club is reading a book called Enshittification. And when I was kind of doing some quick Google searching for, ideas for this topic, and that was actually one that came up more often than not, was just the enshittification of service. Like it feels like sometimes customer service is actually decreased
Mm.
in certain things because I don't really know why. I guess I don't have a good reason for it, but probably various reasons. But services have just gotten worse. Right? Like between the decreased hours and the higher expectations on tipping and everything's virtual, so you don't have to go work face to face with somebody. So it's a lot easier to kind of treat them.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it's just.
I think the bitterness of being an essential worker and having to go in to wait tables or things like that, in the service industry,
Yeah,
might have kind of had something to do with that.
sure. But
Just
I
wrecked
don't know
it
if you
for
guys-
Less face to face, I think too. If you're just handing somebody a thing to sign, I went in for an oil change and the guy never talked. He just put things in front of me to sign. I thought, this is weird. Is this a generational thing? Is this a post-COVID thing?
Hmm.
Dean?
I mean, I'm the guy that's been saying everything's generational, and I don't know, but I mean, like, I feel like this whole problem existed before COVID, but it became much more visible during COVID? Probably because we weren't having people interactions all that much. So when like, when you're having 100 people interactions and 25 of them are bad, then 75 are good. So that's, maybe I don't notice it as much. But when I'm only having 26 people interactions and 25 of them are bad, holy crap, now now it seems way worse than it really is. Maybe it's just more visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, customer service has gotten worse, but I think that's also, companies trying to make more money and they're not necessarily rewarding those workers and that kind of stuff. And yeah, they feel a little neglected. And like, I mean, I know I noticed it more during COVID with like the younger people in my family, my nieces and nephews, where they just didn't even care if they showed up at work. Some of it's just showing up. They just wouldn't show up, and then they wonder why they get fired after not showing up for 8 days in a month. Well, that's why, but I also think that might be a generational thing. I don't know that COVID necessarily put that out there. It's just that we're noticing it more now.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Well, and it could be too, because COVID was 6 years ago. So, you said, your kids graduated then. Like now that generation is now kind of part of the workforce, right?
Yep.
And so maybe some of it's coming from that because that was just what they didn't have the personal interaction kind of at that time when they're 17 and 18 and getting their first jobs. And so their first experience in the workforce was just a virtual one. And so there was no interaction. So I don't know, they just maybe never really learned how.
I think I think you're right. I think has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I spent years in the service industry, waiting tables and bartending and all that kind of stuff. And customer service was huge. And then in consulting, customer service is huge. It's like that's part of the game. It's in the blood. And maybe we notice it more when we're not getting like great service.
Could also tie into the tipping a little bit too, though. If the tip is expected, where's the incentive to work to be better at customer service if everybody's giving you a tip anyway? You know what I mean?
Right.
For everything, used to be a tip was like a reward for good service. And when you had a bad server or something like that, you'd either wouldn't tip them or you'd give them a lower tip. And that was like sending a message. Where now everyone feels obligated to give a tip all the time. It's almost like you're guilted into giving. The standard has gone up, like it's 20, 25, 30% now, as opposed to maybe it was 15. I know that's a long time ago and that's aging me a little bit, but there was a sliding scale based off of the service you got. And it's also become more now the expectation to get it. So where's the motivation to give good service?
Right.
That's good.
And
We
that's
should
definitely
all
changed.
carry a pad of paper and say, I'll tip you. Just write down why I should tip you.
Right. Well, but like the Jets, I go to Caribou too, and they do that. They shove the thing in the window and say, and they're getting the tip before they actually provided the service.
Peter,
That's
you're
how
gonna say
expected
something.
it is. It's like, well, here's the tip. I have yet to get my coffee. You could totally screw it up between now and then. And you're probably going to. And so it's just it's not a reward. It's just part
Not
of the
an
transaction.
incentive.
Yeah.
This is why I'm so habitual. Like I don't have to deal with. I don't go to new places, right? Because I know the service is probably going to suck. I'm going to go to the place where they know me. I don't have to order. I don't have to do a darn thing. And yes, I will tip them, like Dean said, 30% or higher, right? Just because I love the kind of treatment I get at certain spots. And there are other spots. I can't go to lunch sometimes at Schuler's because I know I'm going to walk in and they are just going to give me a grain belt and they're not going to stop. And so, if certain people say, let's go get lunch, I want to go to Schuler's, I'm like, go somewhere else because
It's too soon.
Yeah, it's 11 a.m.
You don't want to have to take a half day now.
Yeah. So,
well, I think it's about time. Anybody else have any parting thoughts before we shut her down?
Let's not do that again. COVID. Don't do it again.
Yeah, no more.
yeah, well,
There's some good things that are still around because of it, but there's also some that I think just need to go away.
I think one of the best habits I learned during COVID was me and Greg being on the same project. You don't have to use Teams for meetings. You can fire up Call of Duty Warzone. Talk to
Yeah.
We had,
And actually, at that time, we had better microphones on our
Yeah.
PlayStations than we had
Right,
on our
yeah.
laptops and stuff.
I think we designed half the technical architecture of our project in Call of Duty, back and forth.
So what do you need for your next gig? I need a MacBook Pro and a PS5 and this really sweet headset.
Actually, funny you would say that, Kyle, because I was just going to send you the specs for that.
All right. Well, we're low on PS5s. Just so you know, it might not get to you right away. I think with that, we can shut her down and say goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Right.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Solution Design Group is a digital product consultancy in Minneapolis. Check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com or look for us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Solution Design Group.